Welcome. Time for What's Up and About for Wake Up Nigeria. Very first edition this week for a Monday. You are welcome, everybody. Mary has a very interesting topic she wants us to talk about.
Okay, so I stumbled upon this on social media. It was a tweet by a lady called Nancy Unandi, and she said, buying assets without the consent of your spouse is tantamount to initiating divorce unknowingly. If you call yourself partners, then none of you has any justification to do this. Keep yourselves and your marriage out of worldly standards. Of course, there were different opinions about this. Some people were like, really? Exactly. Like the comment section is always so exciting. Like you see different opinions. In fact, sometimes you might have your own opinion formed. And then when you go to the comment section and you check out some people's opinion, you're like,
I like to look for similar opinion and then diverse ones, the ones that are extreme from mine.
You learn a lot.
Because it helps me balance out. But regarding that, first off, question is, why would you, in any case, whether you are at loggerheads with your partner or not, take a decision to buy or acquire assets outside of their knowing? I don't see how that is possible. I think that no matter what's going on inside of your family, the reason why you guys are partners is because, I mean, this is the person that you should share every single information with. I've seen situations where that goes awry, where it goes absolutely bad, where bad decisions are made that even that, and like she said, ended up ending the marriage. I have one very interesting instance in my mind right now, which unfortunately I cannot share because it's very
personal.
But yeah, I do see where she's coming from. Absolutely correct.
What about you, Mike?
I really don't, because if like it or not, forget people say all these things, but partners everywhere have stuff that the other half doesn't know. Everywhere. In fact, I would be pressed. You said sharing anything. I'll be pressed to see there is maybe a category. There is no partnership that everybody knows what the other person does or has.
You think?
Yeah.
Mazino is speaking for himself, and he says, as far as he's concerned, his wife knows everything he has, everything he owns, his bank balance. No, interrupt me. But that's what he said. Your bank balance, all the properties you own.
Okay, so wait.
Because bank balance.
You should ask him all of these things when he comes.
The thing is, okay, so if we want to use me as an example, first off, regarding assets, if it's property, she knows absolutely everything. But there's a very small caveat I should add. There's certain luxuries that I like to visit on myself, that I like to keep private, because if she knows
the cost,
even that one will cause the end of the marriage. So let's just, for the safety of the marriage.
And I think as humans, you really need to. It gets to that point where there's some things that you have to go solo on. It's just how we have, as much as we are communal and we interact with people and all of that. I don't think it's possible that everything, because she's talking about property for me, and you add bank account balance. It's a major difference. Some people don't have any property. All they have is maybe physical cash or just money in the bank or is saving somewhere or something. There are people who are not attuned or don't have the affinity towards buying physical property.
I hate to stereotype, but is this a trend that we find particular to a certain, part of Nigerians, a certain group or tribe or language? Do you think? Because most of the stories I've heard have been secluded to a certain...
So there's the pro and there's the con.
They say I should name the child. I'm not gonna do that.
But you already named it by the way you spoke.
I mean, why are your people like that?
Who are your people?
Let's just leave it like so. But
who are your people?
Relax. You are so violent.
I'm not violent. I just.
It's said, not by me. People have the opinion that Yoruba women, not me, have the penchant for keeping assets away from their husbands or partners. Is this true? Please.
Okay, I cannot give you a yes or no answer because I do not know how that works. But here's what I'm going to say. See, this thing works in different angles. I'm going to first share a story I know of. This man, very rich. I shared it earlier in the makeup room. Very wealthy man. He didn't want his wife to work. He didn't want her to own anything. He had loads of property, so he felt he had enough to take care of the family. She bought a house with that should tell you how much he gives her. He sold the house and told her that, I said, don't worry, don't stress yourself about any property. Property management can be stressful, yada, yada, yada. She had to cut the long story short. She bought another house, this time without her husband's knowledge. Now, her husband stands as a guarantor for a friend who takes money and runs away. So the man loses everything. They were rendered homeless.
So she saves the day.
They went from house to house. Nobody was ready to help them till she had to admit. In fact, it took her a lot to finally confess that, listen, I have a house. In fact, my tenants moved out last month. A new tenant is moving in next week. And that was how they had somewhere to even sleep on the bare floor that night. Sometimes, you know, it depends on the kind of spouse you have. If you have a spouse that is supportive, understanding...
In this case, that's a very strategic wife. It's not like as if she was, you know...
She was hiding it from her husband.
Why was she hiding?
Because he did not want her to
go back and
earn
ask
anything.
the question, why would a partner
That's
do
it.
that?
That's what we're saying, that it's unique to the marriage.
So if she
you know
identified
the kind
that
of marriage
his
you have.
strategy in life is something that could cost them, then what she did was right. If he was quite...
That's because it eventually paid off. If he had found out and he was still wealthy, it could have caused issues in their marriage. So it depends on how the whole thing panned out. Well, then the reality is this. Every relationship is unique. Just because one person did it and got away with it does not mean it will not cause trouble in your own marriage. Yeah. Exactly. Meanwhile, it causing trouble in your marriage does not mean that you are better off doing it. So just know how your relationship works and do what works best for you. I'm not advising you to go and buy property without the knowledge of your wife or your husband. But sometimes, if you have a partner that doesn't, you know, egg you on to be successful, you might just want to have a nest egg somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know where you stand. You're giving us this and that.
Yes, because that, I'm being realistic. Life has taught me that what works for A does not work.
One other thing, maybe vacillate towards the side of knowing, having a partner know, is that we've seen where partners have passed on, and then the other half didn't know what they had. And wherever, if it's assets, if it's cash, something happens, the people who are in charge of it just possess it and goes on, and you don't know.
I have a story, so a friend of mine...
So it does happen. So maybe if for that reason alone, maybe you should put some sort of, find a way, maybe a loophole that you can use in such a way that if you do pass on and you don't have, maybe give them a good surprise from the world beyond.
Well, look at this, yeah.
Like the way Sugar Daddy does to our country.
Friend of mine
Although we knew
lost her husband, and very unfortunate, the family came for the property. Now, she was very lucky because they had one property that nobody knew about. So in that situation, I can see how that kind of like helped. And she was one who initiated it, not without his knowing, however, but she initiated the purchase of that property. Had they known about that property, I can't imagine.
Do you know how many unfortunate people have died? And I'm deliberately using that word. And their family, the people they left behind are suffering simply because the person that they went to buy the property with, friend or lawyer or whatever, decided that since they don't know about it, I'm going to inherit it myself. It happens. So that's why I said, just know what works for you.
Know what works.
Let somebody know about it. Let somebody, even if you don't trust your spouse enough, let somebody know. That's what's matters.
I guess that's the way to go. Judge by thinking, who is my spouse? Am I better off or not? What works for A doesn't work for B, however. So we didn't really give exactly what to do in this kind of instance, but you make up your mind.
What works best for you?
Let's take a short break, but do remember now to share your opinion. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigerianTVC. Would love to read from you guys. We'll be back.